Hello and welcome to So You Think You're Awake, the show about life transformation through dream interpretation. I'm Michael Sheridan. On this show, through analysing your dreams, I reveal your potential and the obstacles you need to overcome. I'm very specific. I tell you the magic power you have, what makes you magnificent, and the bumps in life that are holding you back. These bumps are not in the way, they are the way. To get in on the action, go to dream-analysis.com, fill in the form and submit your dream to the show, and I'll interpret it on air. That's how easy it is. And I do need dreams. Thank you very much to everybody who does send them in. As you can probably tell, I do have a bit of a bug that's also affecting my, feels like a cold. But anyway, so we will persevere. I want to say also I'm a guest on the Healing Your Way to Enlightenment show with Christy Warnick. That's tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and that's on the Awake TV network. And the way to get there is go to awaketvnetwork.live/browse. I'll repeat this again at the end of the show, assuming I remember. But yeah, that's a live 1 hour show where Christy will be asking me questions about dreams and also asking me to interpret dreams that any of you send in to the show. So let's get started. The first dream I have today is from Maggie. She says, I'm wandering around upstairs in an old abandoned building with wooden floorboards. Okay, so straight away, the abandoned building and wooden floorboards tells us that you have issues with your elimination system, but that's not really what this dream is about. And there's more things in there that tell us that as well. But it's really about activating your spiritual side because you're upstairs in this building and you're exploring. So fair play to you on that. You say, as I pass a door, I catch a glimpse of a man in an orange boiler suit. And so orange is the colour that helps heal the digestive system, the digestive and elimination system. So it's good for you to have that in the dream. But the boiler suit also makes it, this person is from the UK. So a boiler is quite often what people there would refer to as their furnace. And so it's about the circulatory system and heart. So it's saying this is also what you need to follow. Not, it's not pointing to problems there. It's just saying like follow your heart. It's a good symbol there. And the door is an opportunity, but it's open, so that's good too. When I look again, he's gone. I'm scared, but I feel I ought to go into the room. I walk in and he's been hiding from me at the side of the room. He gets a fright and steps through a mirror. Well, that's fantastic. I love how he does that. So, okay, so he gets a fright. That's about you and you hiding yourself. So this is something that you need to fix. And you hide yourself because of issues with a male, because we have a male in the dream here. Anyway, you say he gets a fright and steps through a mirror. So the mirror here, and the mirror is going to be a theme in the next dream, I think it is as well. So I've put them together because I always say mirrors are about the reproductive system, but that's what they're commonly about, and they're not always about that. And these two dreams, that's not what I mean. So here this mirror is about stepping into another dimension, Alice in Wonderland kind of style. I realize that I would normally run away in a dream like this, but I felt that Michael would tell me to follow. And she says in brackets, my waking self isn't sure where this came from. But what are you talking about? Don't put that on me. What if you get killed after you go through this mirror? It's true. You are meant to face your fears in your dream. I mean, even if you get killed. But usually you don't when you face your fears in a dream. Everything diminishes and you overcome them. So it's always the right thing to do in a dream. Very good. So excellent for you that you do that. So this is saying like the things that cause you to hide, you are overcoming them and you're now pursuing, because orange is also a color about ambition. So you're pursuing something spiritual. So I stepped through the mirror. I'm terrified as I do, as I have no idea what's on the other side. So there we go. See, the other side is about the spirit world. And that's what stepping through the mirror is about. But fair play to you. You overcome your fear and you do it. It feels like a pivotal moment in my dream life. Yeah, it is. It's really good. I come out of the mirror to find myself in the adjacent room. The man in orange is there and is really scared because I haven't ever followed him before. He then crawls through a gap in the wall in the corner of that room. I follow again, terrified, and surprised that I'm being tested again, that I've had to do this twice. So this is about birth, going through a gap. You crawl through a gap. Kids crawl, babies crawl. So you go through a gap. So we know it's about birth. And usually it's a birth symbol. It's not really about birth. But when we do see a birth symbol in a dream, we also expect to see what your spiritual gifts are. So it ties in with the fact that we know this is about spiritual abilities. And we also have, of course, with you following the man, if I was typically following a man in a dream, says you copied your dad, you copied traits from your dad. So that's something you need to look at. Either you did, or there's issues with him that cause you to hide and not do things, not to follow your goals. But either way, it's easy for you to look at and figure it out. Where are we now? When I get to the next room, there's a panel of 3 people sitting at tables in front of me, a bit like in the X Factor. So that's really good. So the X Factor is all about like, what is it, the great thing about me? Like I say at the start of the show, what makes you magnificent? And so this is what the stream is showing you. I sense that they are from another dimension and have been waiting for me, but weren't expecting me to complete the 2 tasks. And so that's really good. So the other dimension, like I said, it's what the mirror represents. And so we have it here too. So that backs that up. It's these people sitting at the panel, they're your guides. Now they do expect you to do that. You're the one that doesn't expect yourself to do that. There's no way your guides are going to be like, oh, wow, look, she did what you came here to do. They would be thrilled about that. They look surprised. The one on the right is Simon Cowell. So yeah, perfect. So what does that mean? Because he does the X Factor is about singing, then it means you are a channel. You have the ability to go to the other side, get information, and bring it back to the physical world. You also have the ability to project your mind. That's what Simon Cowell would also symbolize here. So you're influential. People tend to do what you say. They are talking to me, but I can't hear them. So this is about you hearing your guides. And this is what you're trying to do in the dream, is fix that issue, but you don't manage to, but that's fine. Things will move fast after a dream like this. I'm telling them that I can't hear them, but no sound comes out of my mouth. I start shouting, but only a whisper emerges and they still can't hear me. So this is, again, it comes from childhood, when, you couldn't talk. I mean, because we have the birth symbol, we expect to see things like that here. It's a mix between this is the way I was in childhood, and the dream kind of reminds us, yeah, remember when you couldn't express or talk before? But really it's emphasizing too the difficulty you're having with communication with your guides. Now, the thing is, your guides can always hear you. Once you can just get into a meditative state, then it's much, much easier for them to hear you, but they're always connected. They can always get you, get what you're saying. It's the other way around is the only way we have difficulty, us hearing them. They're all flustered about this and talking to each other, but I can't hear what they are saying. Now, they're not flustered. You're the one that's flustered. So this is what you have to overcome. I go to another room and find another table with a person, and I try talking to them too, but again, no voice. So that's what's on the table for you. Working out how to channel and how to actually hear your guides. And trust me, it'll come. Anytime I ever meet people later on in life, a few years later, and say, okay, your dream said you had this gift. How did you get on with it? They're usually doing it. A lot of the time, they're actually doing it and making a living from doing it. So it will happen, especially now that you know what your gift is. Anything else in there? Yeah, it's going to help your digestive system look after your elimination system. Do what it takes to heal that, because that will help your channeling too. You said, I wake up in a sweat knowing that the dream was important and that I should write it down. My sense is that I made some kind of progress in this dream by following the man in orange, that this was a step I hadn't taken before, but that I wasn't ready for it. Well, correct. It is really good, very good progress in the dream to follow that man. The 3 people on the other side of the mirror had been waiting for me for a long time, so were shocked to see me, then upset that I wasn't prepared. they know what's going on. They know the difficulty you have in hearing them. They're going to help you with that. So do things that help raise your vibration. That's what upstairs in the dream is about. You're upstairs because that's about a raised vibration. But really, a very good dream, and it shows what's coming for you. So let's have a look at another one with a mirror. That doesn't mean reproductive system. Heidi, that's my daughter, is about to have a baby and is at the hospital. She asks if I can help her by picking up a few things. Now, this isn't my dream. This is Bob's dream. I go to what appears to be some sort of building that is owned by the same people that own my company that I work for now. I met the CEO and he's showing me things, the things that I need to take. There's lots of typos in this, so I'm having to fix them as I read it. Two of them are a tall, narrow cabinet that has a door that opens to reveal several shelves used to store clothing and a mirror. As I go to pick up the mirror, I'm told that the mirror is oval and the stand was meticulously made and it allows it to pivot in various directions. Okay, so what have we got so far? Hospitals are about state of mind. Somebody who's pregnant, hasn't had the baby yet, is really good in a dream because it's about a new aspect of you that's coming in. And Heidi's a channel. She used to be a co-host on this show. Everybody knows that. So everybody knows she's a channel, so that's what she stands for in your dream. Your channeling ability is about to kick into gear, which is really good. Why the CEO? The CEO is the president or leader of a company. Equivalent of the president. So it's about your spiritual leadership skills. So the dream is saying that the two of these are going to work together. The tall cabinet, so a really tall, narrow cabinet. Quite often guides in dreams are tall and narrow, skinny, and the height emphasizes that it's a spiritual thing. So a cabinet that is like that in a dream is about, because you say it has shelves for clothes. Now there's nothing in it. It means that you've got to put something in it, so to speak, that allow you use your spiritual and channeling abilities. So it's about addressing your attitude towards those things. Or like I said, hospital's about state of mind. So addressing your state of mind with regard to those abilities. And what is the mirror about? Well, we'll come to that in a second. As I'm trying to take the items to the car, I try to carry both the cabinets and the mirror together, but they are both large and awkward. I get help carrying the cabinet from the CEO. After I load the items in the car, I go back in the building and there is a discussion about how everyone will get to the hospital. I say that other than the stuff in the back, I have room to take some people. So again, this is about you helping other people, taking them from where they are to where they need to be, where they need to go. So that's really good. And you also get help carrying the cabinet from the CEO. So again, your spiritual leadership skill is what this cabinet is about, because that's what the CEO is about. And then, helping other people. When I get to the hospital, Heidi is busy setting up an amphitheater. There is a hospital bed in the middle and Michael is working on the mirror. I go and sit on the second row. Evidently, the whole delivery will be broadcast. So the second row, of course, it's about channeling. So we see the number 2 coming up. Like the fact that you were getting 2 items here as well is also significant. And what did you say? The hospital bed in the middle. So it's not a normal bedroom. So it's not about the normal thing that beds and dreams would be about, which is reproductive system, which is also what mirrors can be about. It's about your spiritual side. And again, about your channeling ability. And the mirror, so what does it mean if it's not about reproduction? It is about you reflecting on developing your channeling ability. That's what it is. So it's like this mirror has a meticulously made stand that allows it to pivot in any different angle. So it's like you getting the ability to reflect on all the angles that are needed in order for you to give birth to your channeling ability. And it's really good. So Heidi's only in the dream because you know, it doesn't matter. You're everybody in the dream. So it doesn't matter that it's Heidi, but her being pregnant is the same as a woman dreaming about being pregnant. And that's about bringing a new aspect of you into being, always a positive aspect. And whatever amount of pain that you have to go through to make this happen, it's worth it. Just like the pain of childbirth and the wonderful child that you get at the end of that, and the love that you have for this child after it and all that sort of stuff. It always emphasizes that whatever pain you have to go through, whatever you have to do to get this to come in, is what you're meant to do. And you say then, evidently the whole theatre delivery will be broadcast. The broadcasting is interesting. Do you feel like you're under the microscope as you try to develop your channeling ability? And that's what I'd say this is about, mainly because of that, but also because of the next piece that comes. I'm also in the dream, so whatever you think about me, if you see me as a spiritual leader, I'm saying that because of the CEO earlier, then that's why I'm in the dream too. But it's also I'm helping you to see the angles that you need to see in order to bring in this gift, or see how to bring in this gift. Because you're working with me right now. I don't mean on the show, but alongside the show in reality. So anyway, you then say, as it seems that Heidi is not ready to deliver, I go out to the lobby to wait. I sit for a while on a yellow sofa. So lobbies and receptions, they're all about reception at birth. So it brings you back to birth and you sit on a yellow sofa. So you have to deal with fears that you picked up at birth. Or conditioning that you picked up at birth, let's say. And it's also saying that, you have to have patience. That's the whole point of this. You have to have patience. I'm asked to go get some supplies. Somehow the supplies that I am sent to get are important, and I have a webcam in the car with me, and they are broadcasting my progress into the amphitheatre. So again, this broadcasting of being watched, being scrutinized. I mean, that's probably the thing you need to overcome, because that's what we see in the dream, and that's probably the thing from birth. I have trouble with handling the webcam while driving as I crest the top of a hill, I assume, and begin to head down a very steep hill, and I am afraid of losing control of the car. So driving the car is good in a dream. Driving the car is about striving towards your goals. We know what the goal is here, developing your spiritual, or your channeling ability. So you're going to get to this peak point, and then it's like, okay, with people watching me, like the webcam on in the car, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to get to where I need to go, or I'm afraid I'm going to lose control of the car. Dreams exaggerate, so it's not going to be about that, but about you actually losing control that much. But it's just about how the one thing affects your ability to stay focused, and so on and so on. So why the amphitheatre? Well, the amphitheatre, again, of course, is a public setting, and it's a stage set in a series of circular raised seats, circular or oval. So this is about the heart. You have to work on your heart, because that's what circles are about, and the oval as well. And we have the oval mirror, don't forget. So that's what you got to work on. Work on issues that help you open your heart, and that's going to help you too. There's a little bit more in that dream, but we will leave it there. Thank you for sending it in, Bob. So here's one from Rose. She says, this is her comment, I have had several dreams in the past that have come true. Okay, excellent. And she says, I had a dream of a member of my church. I was terrified to tell him this message that was sent to him. God gave me instructions to let him know that he was going to be blessed with a child. So I finally had the courage to tell him, and this is in reality. I told him, I don't want you to think I'm crazy. But when I told him, he hugged me and told me that his wife and him had been trying for years, and they hadn't told anyone, but at that time she was already pregnant. And Rose says that she was really excited because she knew a month ahead, but was scared to tell him for all that amount of time that he was going to be a father. So that's really good. So what does that tell you, Rose? I mean, there's no interpretation needed, because you've just said that you had a dream that you were told to tell him this. So it's like you have the ability to channel clearly, just like the last dreamer. You already know it, you get the information, and you need to overcome your fears of telling whoever the person you're meant to pass the message on to. You need to overcome the fears of doing that. What are they based in? Is it the church doesn't like people to do that, or you're just afraid that people will think you're crazy, like you say to us here? But so that's your obstacle. That's the thing that holds you back, and that's what you need to overcome. Just like I said, say at the start, So you've already got the gift, but now you need to overcome this obstacle. Why do you feel that you should hold yourself back? I mean, there's an awful lot of people with almost zero skill and they don't hold themselves back when they should. I'm joking really, but it's true. So here you are with a real skill because it's happened to you before, and you hold yourself back. Now, the fact that you can do it in your sleep, you can get information like that in your sleep, means you can do it in waking life too. So let's have a look at another one. This one is from Faith. It's she says, Melanie Becker, who's in my dream, or Beckler, channels the archangels and is very popular online and on YouTube. When I saw the title of the article in the dream, it reminded me of mirror work. It's where you look in the mirror and say, I love you, I really love you, and other nice things to yourself. So I included this dream because of the mirror again, and we see another purpose for it here. Mirrors can be other things. Like, here's another thing. If you're wearing black clothing, or you see a black cat in a mirror, for instance, that would be about karma, because it's negativity reflecting on itself with the black color representing negativity. So not always the reproductive system. So anyway, here's the dream. Melanie Beckler was in a magazine with her husband Miles. They were at a water park and at the top of a red and white striped funnel style slide. She was sitting behind him with her legs outstretched around him. At first I thought she had neon green heels on or some other shoes that didn't make sense. But when I looked closer, I saw they were slip-on type shoes that you would wear to a water park. His swim trunks were a little odd, as they had some denim on them. And the title of the article you said was I love you, and it was on a woman's magazine like Cosmo or something similar. So it's a nice dream, Faith, quite a positive one. Red and white are probably the most positive colour combination you can have in a dream. And it asks you to have joy and faith going forward in your life. So it's very much a colour that puts the wind back in your sails. We have the magazine. First of all, we have Melanie Beckler. And if she channels archangels, it means you can channel archangels. Well, at least you can channel. And the magazine says that you are a counsellor. That's what magazines represent in a dream, because they're a source of information and knowledge. So you have that ability to channel or to counsel. It's a woman's magazine because channeling works through the heart. And you don't say anything about Miles, but imagine he has some ability too. They're at a water park. Water parks are going to be about your spiritual side, because that's typically what water is about in dreams, with the ocean being the most common one. And the funnel type slide, that's about, it's about having kids. We've seen this in other dreams in the past, but I'm looking at the time, so we can't get into too much detail about it. So anyway, I asked Faith if she was thinking about having another child. But before I do, let's just say, what else we have? We have the magazine saying you're a counsellor, and then we have the raised green heels. They also say you're a counsellor. So high heels are about moving forward on your spiritual career. We've had this on the show before. And green is the colour of the heart chakra. So when you see green in a positive context like this, it's always going to be saying that you are a counsellor. So you've got that. Then you look at the guy's swim trunks. I'll say this before the next piece. And there's some denim on them. So you're looking at genes or genetics. So when it comes to having kids, you're looking at the guy in your life and wondering, what would your babies be like, for example. And I asked you about if you were considering having a child, and you said, not very seriously. I am considering it though, but up until about a year ago, it was more of a no way am I having kids. But the guy I am dating now definitely wants kids. So that's, it's not saying, hey, you're going to have kids, but it's saying that this is now a real consideration in your life. And so it's showing up in your dreams. And that's all. And it's trying to get you to the point where you would consider it to be really fun to have a child, which is what going down the water slide is really about. And with the red and white colour, it's just going to be, it's really fantastic. So I'm looking for a really short one that we can fill in the rest of the time with. So here's one from Walter. He says, in my dream, I was in some building where state senators had offices. I was assigned by some lady to go around from office to office and pass every senator a special pen. I was told to skip 2 offices offices where 2 senators didn't want any visitors because they suffered a loss of a loved one. In my dream, I was shirtless and worried about how I was going to appear like that in front of the senators. Suddenly I noticed I had a shirt on my right shoulder that I just took off, and I was able to quickly put it on and look decent. Needless to say, while shirtless, my upper body was skinny and I even had a six-pack. Oh, well done, Walter, because he says in reality he does not. And I've done this before on the show, and I'm going to do it again. April Angel, who has done my show and has done my course and is going to be working with me as a mentor on my upcoming program that starts in March. If you want to know details about this, go to my website, download my dictionary. That'll get you onto my list, and I'm going to be sending out details about that in the next week or so. Anyway, she says, in a nutshell, I think you are a spiritual leader and writer, and you are meant to expose your heart/feelings through your writing. The senators feeling the loss of a loved one, you are meant to write about your own experience with loss. It will bring you balance and healing. So absolutely perfect, April. Thank you very much for that analysis. And yes, Walter has suffered loss. His former wife died of cancer, and for a long time he felt guilty that he was the one left behind, and so on. And they have a kid. He's now an adult now. Had a kid, but he's not. So, yeah, he is. Walter is definitely familiar with loss, and that's exactly what you're meant to do. You're meant to work. You're meant to write. You're also a channel, which is what all the twos are about. Twos are also about dialogue, which is why it means channeling. So communication. It's a good communication number, and it's going to help you overcome the loss that you still are affected by. So if you thought it's all in the past, it's not. It still holds you back today. So that's it. That's all we have time for this week. Thank you for listening. Remember, if you want to get your dream analysed on this show, go to dream-analysis.com and fill in the form there, and I will take it from there. Also, do remember, and please tune in tomorrow to Awake TV Network. That's at awaketvnetwork.live/browse. And I'm on the Christy Warnick show, which is called Healing Your Way to Enlightenment. And that's at 9 a.m. Pacific time. I don't know that they do recordings. I know if you become a member of the Awake TV network, you can watch recordings. So it's something that you will have to see live. But I'm really looking forward to that. Until next week, I'm Michael Sheridan.